What if I told you there was a place in 19th century America where the women's suffrage movement collided with the supernatural, where seances and civil rights went hand in hand, and where even the most skeptical suffragists might find themselves talking to the dead? I'm talking about Lilydale, New York, a spiritual community that became the unlikely headquarters for some of America's most revolutionary women. And here's the thing, we think we know these historical figures, but the stories I uncovered will make you see them in a completely different light. Take Susan B. Anthony. Yes, the Susan B. Anthony. We all remember history class and know her as the stern, no-nonsense face of the suffrage movement. But what if I told you that she once attended a seance and basically told a dead relative to buzz off? I don't know about you, but if my social studies teacher mentioned any of this, I probably would have paid more attention. And trust me, the story gets even better. A place where mediums met mavens, suffragists shared tea with spirits, and rebels found their spiritual squad goals. Lilydale's guest list read like a who's who of American history's most interesting troublemakers. In an era when women were told to sit down and be quiet, Lilydale basically said, hold my seance. This wasn't just a spiritual community, it was a full-on revolution with a side of supernatural sauce. Lilydale offered women something revolutionary, a place where their voices weren't just heard, they were celebrated. Here, women were not only equal, they were leaders. Meet Marion Skidmore, a driving force in Lilydale and a fierce champion of women's suffrage. While other communities were clutching their pearls at the thought of women voting, Marion was out here throwing the 19th century equivalent of a block party for suffrage. And who shows up to these spiritual soirees? None other than Susan B. Anthony herself, the original rebel with a cause. Picture this, 3,000 people packed into an amphitheater, yellow suffrage banners everywhere, and Susan, probably for the first time in her life, actually cutting it loose on the dance floor at the Saturday night balls. That's right, our favorite suffragist knew how to party, spiritualist style. But wait, it gets better. What's truly fascinating is how this sanctuary of free thought attracted not just political revolutionaries, but cultural ones too.
Well, when I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
Enter Mae West, the queen of the double entendre, who definitely came up to see the spirits sometime. While the world knew her as a silver screen sensation who challenged every norm of feminine behavior, few knew of her deep spiritual quest. Here in Lilydale, the woman famous for her quibs about earthly pleasures sought answers about the afterlife. West didn't just attend seances, she developed her own psychic abilities, claiming to communicate with spirits and even believing she was the reincarnation of Catherine the Great. Her favorite medium was Lilydale's Jack Kelly, who apparently kept in touch even after he crossed over. Now that's what I call a dedicated spiritual advisor, working overtime, even from the other side.
Tell me about the history of the temple, and I understand that Mae West has an attachment to this particular building.
This is true. On the outside, you might get that little bio. There's a little frame out there with a bio and a picture of Mae West, as well as the person that built the Healing Temple. His name was Louis Vosburgh, and this was back in 1955. And so he built the Healing Temple in honor of a healer and also a medium. He was a platform medium back in the day. we felt very much was, spectacular in his eyes. And so he built the Healing Temple with the intent of having the Healing Temple represent a place where people could come for spiritual healing. And so over the last 66 years, this building's been used for nothing but spiritual healing and spiritual healing topics that's related to that. So it's become a place that's very sacred to very many for all these years, and it remains to be that way. So yes, Mae West was friends with both of them. So there's a picture of Louis Vosburgh and Jack Kelly, the medium, and Mae West. And so she was very much involved with them. And I'm sure she had come to the Healing Temple because her picture's right in front of it. So I think that's pretty neat for our history.
From suffragists to silver screen stars, Lilydale offered something rare. A place where radical ideas could flourish, where women could lead, and where the search for spiritual truth went hand in hand with the fight for human rights. The original Cosmic Country Club, your membership benefits included free thought, equal rights, and the occasional chat with your great Aunt Gertrude from the other side. So this is what really blows my mind about this whole story. Susan B. Anthony, this woman who spent her entire life fighting for women's voices to be heard. She was initially skeptical of spiritualism, telling her friend Abby Pentingale, "We love you, but we don't care anything about your religion." But even Susan couldn't resist the pull of Lilydale. And when she finally attended that séance, she brought that same fierce directness that made her a suffrage icon. When a spirit of an unpopular deceased aunt tried to communicate, Susan shot back. "I don't want to hear you. I didn't like you when you lived, and I don't care to talk to you now." I mean, imagine being so authentically yourself that you don't even change your personality for the dead. But here's the most incredible part. After even Susan passed away, her spirit apparently wasn't done fighting. Dr. Shaw, another suffragette, claimed that during a serious illness, she had a vision of Susan standing by her bed and asking in that unmistakable voice, "Are you going to desert us now?" Whether you believe in spirits or not, there's something powerful about a place that gave women like Susan B. Anthony and Mae West the freedom to explore every aspect of themselves, the political, the spiritual, the rebellious. Lilydale just wasn't about talking to the dead. It was about bringing revolutionary ideas to life. In a world that told women to be quiet, Lilydale said, "Speak up, question everything, and never apologize for exactly who you are." Whether you're fighting for the vote, challenging Hollywood's rules, or even telling off difficult relatives from beyond the grave. Now that's what I call eternal rebellion.